All right, welcome back to Stool Streams. Today, I'm getting fixed, my friends. If you watched last week, you probably know that I stunk it up in a big, big way. So we got Eli from the PGA Superstore. He's a swing master. He's gonna get me dialed back in. He's gonna help not only me, but Donnie Does is gonna get helped out too. What are you looking forward to today?
I've just never received a golf lesson in my life.
Me either, it's my first.
Okay, but you definitely play a lot more golf than me. Like,
Yeah.
I play once a year, so honestly, like, I'm not looking for much. But even if I
Straight.
yeah,
A little bit straighter.
yeah, if you can get me hitting the ball a little more straight, making more direct contact, I'll be very pleased.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna have a good little head start because we got our friends at Fireball here. If you're out on the course, you need to make sure that you have the Fireball shooters. These right here, the 50 milliliters, they are absolutely delicious. I put them in my bag every single time I go out. They're in the bag, they're in the cup holder, they're in my belly, they're all over the place. We're gonna drink one right now, and you should too. You can get Fireball wherever Fireball is sold, gas station, liquor store, wherever. Get it from your mama's cabinet, but we have it ready to go. Cheers.
This is gonna help loosen me up.
All right, let's do this. So Eli,
Yes.
whenever you're given instructions, what are the first couple things that you're assessing for?
Well, so I'm really trying to see, is the ball flight a result of the club path or the club face?
Okay.
So if we have like over rotation of the club face, if the ball's going really left for a right-handed golfer, you know, or is the club like coming really inside to out, and is that more of the reason?
Okay.
And then my recommendation for you would be kind of make more of a half swing and really slow it down so you can start to feel it.
Okay.
Because at full speed, it's really hard to make any kind of change.
Okay.
Or really try and feel something a little different in that sense.
And you said that you want us to start off with a 7-iron.
Yeah, like a 7-iron usually, or so, you want to start off maybe with like a wedge if you're like truly warming up. And I know you've hit a few balls,
Yeah, I've hit
so
a
you could
couple,
jump to like a mid-iron.
And I'm already not hitting it off the heel nearly as much.
Which is
So,
great news, yeah.
Yeah, it was fantastic news. I didn't
So
feel like
say,
I
let me
wanted
get
to
over
cry. So I'll give my 7-iron a little bit
Oh,
of a
no,
go.
oh yeah, I just wanted to see more of.
If you come all the way over here, you can see him from this angle.
Okay. Let's see one.
Already much better than last week.
Yeah.
So I'd say the first thing we're going to think about is actually get into position and take that club back maybe the first like 20%. So I want you to think about getting more to maybe something like this position, right? And I refer to that as like a delivery position, the first part of the takeaway. So it's really kind of like right about here, right? We're trying to get the shaft parallel to the ground,
Okay.
toe a little bit to the sky, just a touch closed. All right, so from there, the hands are gonna go up.
Okay.
So this is gonna help you find a really nice kind of neutral swing plane. So if you just brought them back down and then did that move that I showed you before, you're in the clear.
Okay.
That's it, that's all you need. You know everything you need to know.
All right. That's pretty good.
It's pretty solid.
So like backspin, irons, launch angle, what am I typically looking
So right now for a launch angle, since you have a 7-iron, we want to see about 17 and a half, about 17, somewhere in your ball speed. So
Okay.
yours is a little high right now. So a bit of that is your actual impact position. When you're actually getting the hands to come through, not only is your club face kind of open, but your shoulders are also open, and then this whole kind of like dynamic loft situation, you're adding loft to the equation.
Will that same shoulder movement cause me to top the ball?
Absolutely. Also,
my biggest issue
well, I
on
mean,
the
not
course.
necessarily like top of the ball, but it'll lead to like infrequent strike patterns. The biggest thing I think about topping is head movement, either lateral, up or down, like elevation, depression, any kind
I'm
of
a
like
lean back
swaying.
guy.
Yeah.
I find myself, if I'm really messing up, I'm leaning back at the strike.
Because if we think about it in some ways, like if we're coming over here and I'm pulling my weight off, I have to do so many things to center myself and then strike the golf ball.
Okay.
It's just so hard to do that consistently.
Okay.
That's why it only feels like 1 out of 10 is good, 2 out of 10 is good. So if we can really think about making more of like that center rotation, really keeping that foot planted, that'll leave you to kind of less swaying and more like full rotation.
Okay.
Actually getting that club head to come through. And then we'll have to kind of tweak that impact position a little bit.
So you want to keep your head as still as possible?
Yeah, like keeping your head as still as that's one of the best
Yeah.
things, honestly, throughout the bag.
Okay.
Like there's no real benefit to you kind of like moving your
Yep.
spine, like moving your core.
But you do want to, for the swing, you want to shift weight to your back foot and then shift it back to your front foot?
In a crude sense, because there's some element of like, hey, I don't want to dump all my weight on my back foot. Like I can probably get away with taking maybe half of the hip turn that I think is sufficient,
Yep.
and that's more than enough rotation. So like I'm really thinking more about like pulling to start something rather than really kind of just dumping my weight
Okay.
at the cost of getting my hip back.
I'm a lefty, but like,
Okay, yeah. So
but how important is, like, I've heard some people say it's like important to keep this arm straight.
well, so for you, it's going to be the opposite. It's
Okay.
going to be your right hand, which is going to
Yeah.
be your glove arm. So
Okay.
I was actually at left. I switched.
Okay.
I flipped it at like 9 years old. They were like, "Look, if you go from left hand to right hand, you get all the you get all the clubs."
Yeah.
And I was like, "I'm in." And then I did that, and then I played college. Now I'm professional,
Lefty?
right-handed.
Okay.
So I switched from left-handed to right-handed. But like so.
Maybe I should try that.
Well, there is some science behind that, but in reality, it's just the same thing flip. Because like any
Yeah.
good instructor will start to turn on their left side to like actually see what you're trying to learn.
Yeah.
So it's really about like locking this elbow, right, showing a little bit more bicep,
Yep.
and then putting the same thing and then going a little bit of bend. And that puts you in that same kind of position.
Like that.
And then from there, the only major thing I see, you got to get that thumb down the shaft.
You want to take some cuts,
Right,
Donnie?
so then that thumb's going to be on the right side of the grip, and then this thumb's going to be on the left side of the grip. So you don't want any tension going down the center of the
Yeah.
shaft. You only want it going down the sides.
I think it might be kind of hard to switch back between the right
Oh,
and the
like-
left.
Okay, so
Right
we'll
there.
we'll
It's
get
like-
me a little bit dialed, and then you go.
Yeah. Or if you want to just like focus on you for this stream, and then we can do like, I can get a lesson down the line.
Okay.
We can see. How long do you usually do the streams for?
Depends until we're done.
Okay. Cool. But yeah, I mean, even if we focus on you this time, I'll still sit in because I'll probably pick up some things just listening.
Okay. So keep my left foot planted.
Yeah, try and keep that planted. And almost, I would say, this can be kind of weird. So you almost want to remove your knee bend, right? You almost want to get your butt more towards the wall.
Okay.
You're trying to facilitate ultimately more bending of the hip and not really getting like closer to the golf ball, because that's the whole reason we usually bend our knees.
Okay.
Like you only really see people make really knee bend stances when you're in a bunker, right? When you're trying to get yourself closer to the level of the golf ball to
Okay.
kind of sweep it.
Okay.
So like simple things like that. So in our sense, we want to be able to get the hands more down and then rotate onto our left side. So we want to be more kind of in this like axis, shoulders over toes. If
Okay.
that makes sense.
Yeah. shoulders
Instead of
over
being
toes.
kind of like in that squat position. So that makes
yeah.
it really hard to rotate.
Yeah.
And then is that your normal ball position for your 7-iron usually?
Yeah.
I like that ball. I would say experiment with trying to get it a little bit more mid.
A little more mid.
little bit more mid, and let's walk through that impact that we were kind of looking at. So take it back to that first like delivery position, right? So then from here, like on the way down, we want to get this guy rotating in, and then ultimately this guy squares,
Okay.
right? And we're still trying to hold on to some of this right wrist extension that we made at the top, and then we don't let that go until after we strike the golf ball.
Okay.
So that's really kind of like, we're really kind of doing this, right? We're getting there, we're squaring it up, and then we're kind of letting go of this wrist
Almost like
breaking
a
this
whip,
point.
kinda?
Kind of, yeah. You're delivering
Whippy?
it there, right? And then getting that guy pointed over.
Okay.
So you really want it to be the perfect mirror image of like this to like this, if that makes sense.
It does. So here, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Lower.
Because really, at the end of the day, it's your dynamic loft that's really elevating your launch angle.
Okay.
And that's 23 and a half, which is okay, but then your launch angle, so it's just still launching a little high. You're de-lofting the club enough though.
Okay.
So that's good.
That felt a lot better.
sounded a lot better. Did you feel like you over-rotated a little bit?
A little, and I don't know why I'm hitting that far.
That's a good...
Either. Like, I usually don't hit a 7-iron 200 yards. I don't.
Very few people do. Actually, yeah. I mean,
It's true.
Yeah.
That's a good swing.
That one was.
That was a good swing.
Yeah.
I like the sound of it. I like the end result.
That's about where I
Like,
typically,
I would not be upset with that at all. If I was, you know what I mean? Like, at all.
Me either.
At all.
Yeah, I feel so much better than last Thursday. Come here, already. Come here.
Oh, I love it.
That's pretty good. I already
Good
feel
stuff.
better.
sorry. So I would say now even try and get to where you can get to like this half position, right? And let's see if you can get it going kind of just in to out with a slight little kind of block to it so we can kind of feel like the face not rotating through. So let's see what that kind of feels like. I love when I say half swing and they make the same style.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
do
no, I
it.
know. No, yeah, like try a half swing. So
Okay.
Because usually I'll say that, like, oh, take a half swing, and people are like, I took a half swing, and I'll show them the video, and it's like even further than their full swing.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
that feel, you know, when you tell your body to like stop rotating and it keeps going.
Yeah.
Kind of that kind of feel.
Half swing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I've found if I.
That was like 3/4-ish.
Yeah.
But it wasn't bad. But this is really the hard part, transitioning from like, okay, I have the feel of a full swing.
Yeah.
But like, I played a lot of golf. How many times do you think I'm actually taking 100% full swing ripping at it?
Probably not much.
No.
So
Not
you're
much.
saying like he shouldn't even bring it like
Oh,
behind
not
his head.
Well, so just
Like,
in the
just
just
like
in the sense to kind of
the-
find some tempo, right?
Okay.
Like if you're here trying to like build that kind of confidence, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I want to try and work into like a 3/4
Okay.
and then like a full, because
Okay.
the 3/4 is going to have so much more of that tempo element. It's probably going to be a few yards shorter. So like if I'm into like, let's say a headwind, right? And I need a little bit more club. I'm going to club up and I'm going to hit that 3/4 kind of flighted shot. I'm going
Okay.
to go for a lot of feel. I'm going to go for really kind of that ploy on accuracy.
And when I'm on the course, I never swing that hard. Like
Yeah, like
the
that's what I'm
hard-
saying.
The
Like,
hardest
yeah.
I swing right there, I don't.
Yeah.
Like I'll show you kind of what I swing, what I try to swing like when I'm on the course.
And as I say, your tempo's so much more even. Your weight was so much more controlled.
Yeah.
So that's really the hardest part is
And
bringing,
that's my normal distance.
bringing
for a 7.
these
Yeah.
swings with that 1.38 smash factor is a pretty good smash factor. Like bringing those swings into your practice sessions, so you're kind of practicing more like you're playing.
Okay.
And the same thing with like your club selection. So like if we're pounding drivers, yeah, it's kind of fun, but I'd rather you throw a wedge in there every now and then, keep your tempo kind of honest.
Yeah.
That really helps with transitioning this to outside.
I have noticed that, and I thought maybe that was one of the things that was really messing me up last week is that, I mean, when you come to a simulator or the driving range, it's fun to just hit driver.
Don't get me
Just-
wrong.
Just
it's
hitting
fun.
bombs is
and
fun.
yeah, like it's almost like going to the gym, right? Bench press. How much
Yeah.
you benching, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we don't do legs here. We bench. But
Yeah.
like so much of bringing that more of like practice how you play element. Because when do you hit 2 drivers in a row on a golf course?
Never.
In a really bad situation.
But I
only
fit
usually.
pitch and wedge twice in a row a couple times.
Whenever it's your turn in golf, it's never good. You know, like
Yeah,
again,
right,
it's
yeah.
still you.
Yeah.
But like in that sense, that helps it more like transitioning, and you feel like you don't lose it as much because what you gained, you did by hitting like hundreds of drives in a row for like 2 hours.
Yes,
And it felt-
exactly.
you know what
and then
I
I
mean?
go out there and I hit my one every 15 minutes, and it's different.
It's brute force, and it's just like golf is so like
Where this makes a
anti-
bigger difference,
Yes.
right? Iron play is every hole.
And this transition, this is the same motion as far as the driver. The biggest thing is we're taking this angle of attack coming from negative and we're making it positive. So
Okay.
we're making some adjustments, right? More ball position, but everything else like the club head coming inside of our hands, release, it's all the same.
Okay.
Yeah, just when you're
Maybe I won't quit
driving,
golf.
you just want your like front foot lined up with the tee.
Yeah, so usually for like you, it would be like right inside this right heel. So
Okay.
you hear people talking about like a ball on the inside heel, right? So I would
right.
say it's kind of going somewhere, it would be about like this position. I really almost played off of here, and it might even drift over towards your big toe,
Like
depending on
if I
how
was
everything's going. Yeah.
If I was gonna drive. it'd
Oh
be like
yeah,
here.
you're definitely somewhere kind of in that region. And the
okay.
biggest thing is you want to be in the plane behind. You want to feel like you're behind the golf ball.
Yeah.
right? Whereas the iron, it's right in the middle. You're more so like on top of it, making like a centered pivot and a rotation.
Yep.
Whereas this guy, you're trying to go through that wall. Nice swing.
Beauty.
That one I moved the ball into the exact
Just a
middle
little bit
of my
more
stance.
middle, right? And it just
Yep.
gave it was just that little bit, and it just came out crispy.
It did. It felt like I could tell based on sound impact. There's like no movement in my hands of the club.
And I really love that because it's so simple. Just really getting that club right in that position, it helps you find that plane so easy, and it's just effortless. Little thin, little over rotation of the face, but not a bad miss. Little left. I like that launch right there. That's 17 and a half.
Yeah.
That's nice. You have good ball speed. Around the 120 ball speed,
Yeah.
honestly, you could use a shaft that would have a little bit more of some substance.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause
like the
that's
one that
a-
I have at home is like a. I think this is actually it. Like this.
Okay, yeah, because that's graphite. So like mine, that was 130 gram extra stiff.
Okay.
That's like heavy.
Yeah.
And you were like, this feels amazing.
Yeah.
Like you have that kind of ball
Like,
speed.
what do you think this one?
Like this is
I think
probably-
that's the same exact
this is,
shaft I
yeah, this
have.
is a 70 gram graphite. Like this is going to be way looser than that. So that ball's going to go higher.
Oh, so I don't want this.
Oh yeah, you don't want that.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I
you
do
would need
hit
something-
my personal irons to the moon.
A mile, right?
Like
yeah,
if
that's,
I'm hitting in, I kind of like it. Like for my pitching wedge. If
I was
it's
going to
not-
say
if it's
wedges
not-
and stuff, it's
if
pretty
not
manageable.
windy.
But like above a 7-iron is probably like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll lose distance for
that
sure.
shaft, 100%.
Yeah. I think this is the same shaft I have. Let's see what it does.
It's a nice swing though.
I feel like I'm getting better rotation now too. I think like golf is just so confident. Last week I was crushed.
It's a lot, yeah. It's those highs and those lows, right? Those highs and those lows. It's a lot of it. And that's why the biggest thing, right? See if you can break it down and make it a lot slower and try and make those mental snapshots and get back into these similar positions. That left foot's starting to move around a little bit.
Oh, did
Kinda
it?
Felt that? So I felt like when you kind of took it back, you kind of did this and you kind of replaced it a little. Just keep that guy nicely planted. Don't get lazy with it. Oh, you missed the video of it. I was in there just slightly.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely need to check that out.
There you go. Little toey.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I like these irons so much. They're so
I was
forgiving.
about to say, that you can literally hit them anywhere on the face, right?
They're so good.
Yeah, that's awesome. You're getting good backspin, but yeah, I think an iron shaft would be the biggest thing for ball flight for you. And then what size glove do you normally wear?
I don't.
Oh, you don't wear a glove. Interesting, because normally I do the grip sizing off of glove sizing.
Oh, really?
So that's kind of interesting.
I mean, if I'm playing okay with the glove, I keep it on. But I feel like, because I feel like a nerd if I'm coming down from upstairs to grab a glove and play in the simulator. So I practice so much
You got
without
just
it.
used to it, right?
Yeah, I got so many like calluses from it that I feel kind of good. And I also always have forgotten to take it off when I'm putting. So if I don't wear one,
Right.
but then on a super hot day, sweaty.
Oh
you know?
yeah, and it's like you feel like you have nothing, right? Especially those style grips.
And this
like
is
that
what I
one
have.
on that driver, that multi-cover is way better, right? Because you have
Yes.
the cord on the bottom hand.
Yeah. So for those that are watching, like the normal type of grip, this one is a thinner grip. And the moment that he gave me his,
I was about to say that.
it's so much thicker. And I actually watched a
Oh,
video.
it's a Wind Dry Tech, yeah.
I watched the video the other day with John Daly and Bryson, and Daly was talking about one of the biggest mistakes amateurs make is don't get fitted for their grips. And like just picking up your grip, how much better it feels in your hand is crazy.
Yeah, so I wear a large glove, like a golf style glove.
Yeah.
And then so that's a regular grip with 3 extra wraps of tape.
Yeah.
No build tape.
I
So
need to
like
do
there's
this.
kind of an art to it kind of testing them out and
feels
kind of feeling
so
that.
nice.
But it feels like a pillow, right? Like it's
Yeah.
just a big pillow. I love that feeling.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a no glove player, I feel like that's very crucial.
Yes.
You have to have that connection.
Yes.
It's like having bad tires on your car. You won't go anywhere.
It
you
makes
know?
total sense. Like, and it just, like one of the things that I notice that I do if I'm playing poorly is I'll come up and I could feel my hands almost like
readjusting,
based
like
on where I'm at.
re-gripping, yeah.
Yeah.
And anytime
like
there's
fatter.
like re-gripping in the middle of the swing,
It's gonna be bad. And
The
I
odds
know when
aren't
I'm
good.
doing it, and I feel like with a better grip, that's gonna happen so much less because it just sits in there.
yeah. And to some extent, at the end of the day, I would say for the grip, you want it to be more in your fingers and not really coming in contact with your palm. So it's really kind of there. So even in this sense, like I can kind of do it in there. So it's
Okay.
really not having any of that palmar. So it's so much more of that wrist kind of articulation, not really kind of flattening it out.
And the chat, one of the things that they were trying, I was like the good golfers that were in our chat last week, they were saying that my grip is really weak.
Yes. So when they're talking about that, they're not talking about the actual strength of the grip. They're talking about what would be your bottom hand, your glove hand's actual position. So from your position, you want to see more of your middle finger knuckle. So we actually want to get it much more like that, right? Exactly.
Here?
Right? And then we want this guy to come on the other side and kind of cover it.
Like that?
Yes, looks much more like that.
Okay.
Right? So on the flip side, it would look like this for you.
Okay. So is this more right?
That looks good. Yeah, so that's a little bit stronger. So they're talking about this angle right there. They want that to go towards your right armpit. And they want the same angle on the bottom one, same armpit.
Okay. I'll take a swing like that. It just feels
Oh,
so
I bet it's so it's going to take a couple of golf balls to kind of get rid of that feel. It feels a little weird at first.
very weird.
Ooh. We're going to have to get you a set of blades.
Yeah.
They just feel so good, don't they?
It feels so different.
Just so pure. I would
Like,
say on the next one, watch your replay of your swing.
Okay.
I think to some extent you are moving a little bit, like swaying a little bit too much in the
Probably
backswing.
back, huh?
Just a touch. That's just that guy not giving you any help.
the club.
Yeah, just a club.
Because I felt like that swing was smoother. I was
Yeah,
a lot
no,
more.
the tempo is definitely smoother. I will agree with you on that. There you go. I would say also look at it this way. If you can walk up and rip that thing 2 times, you can hit anything.
This? Yeah. Cool.
You can hit anything.
Sweet. What other clubs do you... So one thing that I've always kind
I
of
was about to say, we can try and go to a driver if you feel,
Yeah.
if you feel confident.
I love to hit a
I was
driver.
about to say, I'm daring, so I'll gamble. So I'd say the biggest thing, right, inside the left heel. Yep, and we could actually get a touch wider in our stance.
Wider? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Love that face open.
Yeah.
That's a lot of height to it, too.
I usually hit it a little bit more forward in my stance, too.
Yeah, you definitely moved, like, in the heel sense, like, really kind of swayed in that one.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'd say similar to kind of the iron, right? We got to talk about kind of this interaction coming in. So actually, you want to bring it in that same kind of sense where
I
it's
could
in
tell
that
I was coming
delivery.
in a little shallow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so here, get it back to that delivery position real quick, right? And then when we're coming in here, that same kind of thing, but then we actually have to get this guy to square. And then after, this guy has to rotate, but then actually come over to be able to reach out and open your palm. So there has to be this full kind of squaring, and then it has to go and like rotate over. Like it actually has to come through and go like that.
Okay.
So that'll ensure that you have full driver head rotation.
Oh. That would probably be a little bit over.
You smoked that.
Yeah.
Look where you hit that thing on the...
Oh, yeah. Okay. I hate when I hit a good one and it doesn't pick up.
But that's usually how it happens,
Yeah,
right?
right. It happens to me on the course too. I'll be having a terrible day driving the ball, and the one that I hit correctly, it'll be the one that has like a stream that's like 270 down.
I was about to say.
High.
A lot higher, a lot straighter. A little bit more distance.
This isn't the one I usually hit.
So that had 16.9 launch angle with 3,300 backspin. So it's a little spinny, a little high.
This is the club I use.
There you go.
Like I take that on the course all day.
Absolutely, all day. How could you be mad at that? 143 smash factor, good ball speed. So actually, you're leaving a little bit on the table with your ball speed.
Yeah.
In the 160s, you should be like flirting with 295, 300.
Okay.
Like 290, and in some ideal condition, obviously.
Yeah.
Not every time.
And I do like
100, like outside, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would say the limiting factor, like your bottleneck, is going to be more of the shaft.
Okay.
Like
This is probably too whippy, huh?
Oh, so it's actually just the kick point of it, just the very nature of it. It just produces a spinnier golf ball. So you just need a shaft that produces a similar type of interaction, but with less spin.
I didn't even know shafts did that.
That's so well hit. That driver head's coming through the zone nice. You're hitting it square, a little bit more see, like you should be basically around somewhere there.
Yeah.
That one had 1,700. That was really good. That was solid.
Thanks. I feel so much better than just last week. So driver I feel pretty comfortable with majority of the time.
But it feels so much better when you can do that versus like,
yeah,
I'm going to put this not in play.
Another one of my big struggles is long irons.
Okay.
What is the difference in, like if you typically struggle, like I can hit 6 to pitching wedge pretty well.
Like the 5, it starts getting a little
5
squirrely.
shaky.
Yeah.
4, I'm probably not going to use it on the course. 3, definitely not.
Well, most mid to high handicappers don't really benefit from having anything above like a 5 in the back, right? So
Okay.
like it makes kind of sense. It's kind of daunting. It's a little different in the sense of where you got to have the longer irons a little bit more towards the left foot.
Okay.
And you're really trying to kind of pinch them, almost kind of like the fairway where you're like sweeping, but you're really trying to like kind of more do kind of like a pick motion rather than really coming down and taking turf like your 7-iron. Because it just doesn't have that kind of same feel.
Okay.
It also is really bad for the longer irons when you try and shorten the swing and kind of help it. So it really still, one of the keys is keeping the same fluidity and tempo of your regular kind of swing and not decelerating, keeping that same kind of length and just kind of constant.
Okay.
And just making sure the ball's a little bit more up in your stance.
So don't hit down with it.
Yeah, like you want to still ultimately be like kind of downward, but you're not really trying to be excessively downward.
Okay.
You get a benefit from being slightly downward. Right, and it kind of just sweeps out.
Yeah.
That's a really nice 5-iron. Like you only want your 5-iron to go like,
There's a 4.
or a 4. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, a little bit further, but still that was pretty well hit. So the biggest thing we'll look for in an iron fitting for something like this is we're going to look at your 4-iron ball speed. So I saw it was like 126.
Okay.
So I know usually mine's like closer to like in the low 140s. So like if you hit your 5-iron and I didn't see a large enough increase, I know that the 4-iron's not giving me the numbers I need in accordance to the set because they're in a linear fashion. We got to get that guy out of there. We got to
Okay.
get a guy who performs. You know, we got to get something that gives you more of the shot that you're kind of lacking in that sense.
Okay.
Not a bad sound to it. That one definitely is going to have a little bit more distance.
Lower launch angle,
Yes, much. Was it
15?
15? That's nice. And so that one was 6 mile an hour faster on the ball speed.
Oh.
So that last one was like 126. This one was 131.
I put
So
that
then-
one a little bit further back in my stance.
Okay,
too.
just a little bit, right?
Yeah, just a little bit.
And it came out much flatter. I like that flight. That's another well-hit ball. It's pretty much close to the other one.
Yeah.
Very nice. That's great. And then that backspin is pretty much around there. So usually we're looking for the iron times 1,000. So that was 3,800 backspin with a 4-iron. Not at all upset about that. That's target.
Okay. I mean, just the group. Oh, let me show you.
I was about to
I'll show
say,
you
look
when
at the grouping on that. It's really, like the last few that you hit,
Yeah.
they're just those little cuts to the right. Oh, we would take those all day.
Oh, big time.
Oh, yes.
I feel like I'm fucking dialed right now.
Take him out. He's ready.
I mean,
Oh, that's money.
Come
that's
on.
like in the center.
come on. I'm ending the stream right there, Eli.
1-4 smash after.
I'm
Absolutely,
ending
I
the
love
stream
it.
right there. Dude, I can't tell you thank you enough. Like the difference, I'll pull it up. Let me see if I can show the stream too from my phone. The difference of what I was playing last week with pitch and wedge and the shot, like, okay, here we go. So I'll show you. You can probably see it on this
No,
too.
yeah.
Like the difference between the red dots there, that was my pitching wedge last week. Trying to hit it decent, spraying it all over the place. To go from that to that tight of a group with a 4-iron, cannot complain, my friend. Eli, you are
Yes,
the
Chris,
man.
Thank you so much.
If you guys need some instruction, make sure that you head on out to the PGA Superstore here in Chicago. What location is it?
Wicker Park. Or
Wicker
Lincoln Park. excuse
Lincoln
me.
Park. Make sure you get out there, hit up Eli, hit up my guy John. He's the manager over there. Thank you to you
Oh,
again.
yes.
Thank you to Fireball. We'll see you back here next Thursday. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.